Hey, welcome to the second episode on how to make your own surf map. Probably the most important episode of them all. Smooth and satisfying surf ramps are a necessity, so I will try to explain it to the best of my abilities. With the basics in mind, we can now make our first stage. To start off, we're going to sketch a rough layout of the map in paint just to visualize what's it going to look like. Now, with that done, let's make it real. I first remove one of the sides of our sealed cube by hitting the delete button. Then hold Ctrl while left clicking all four sides to select them all. Then, since they are all the same length, we can drag them outwards to make a long corridor. Remember not to select the fifth wall that's perpendicular, otherwise it messes everything up. It is very important to remember that when you want to drag multiple walls out, they have to be the same length. I can't stress this enough. Also, to select the walls, you can, using the select tool, drag a square in one of the 2D viewports and press enter. It will select everything inside it. Now with this corridor, I will make a spawn area. By selecting the block tool with the node wall texture selected, I'm going to put the terrorist spawn on top of the spawn area. It's very important that the terrorist spawn is slightly above the ground, otherwise it won't register it. And the light environment can stay on the ground or you can move it up to spawn. It's up to you because it doesn't matter where it's located. Now all we need is a surf ramps. There are a lot of ways to make a surf ramp, so I'll try to cover most of them in this video. There are different shapes for your surf ramp. Here are the three most common ones. To make them, you start off by making a node-drawn block. This size can be whatever you want. My preferred scale is x equals 640 and y equals 448. We will now cut the block to the shape we want using the clipping tool on the left side or using the shortcut Shift X. Then in the 2D viewport, you click and drag to make a line through the cube. One side should be red and one white. You can inverse the selection by repressing on the clipping tool button on the side or using the shortcut Shift X. And the third time everything is white. That means once you press enter, it will keep both sides of the cut. So cut the cube into the shape you want. It's very important that the steepness ratio is not, I repeat, not 1:1. Otherwise you will not be able to surf on it. Now for the surf ramp with a cut at the bottom, I like to take the previously made surf ramp and cut off a small ledge on each side. Then using yet a new tool called vertex manipulation on the left bottom side, shortcut Shift V, press on it twice to remove the yellow dots but keep the white ones. The yellow dots are useless in my opinion. This tool is extremely useful, but people always tell you it's dangerous. Spoiler, it's not. Few tips. 1. Don't use the 3D view to select the dots, just use the 2D viewports. 2. Never ever make a side go inwards. See the drawing on screen? It will make the whole cube bugged. You can, on the other hand, go outwards. See the drawing again. 3. If the compile keeps on telling you there's a bug or it looks weird in game, just delete it and try again. It won't corrupt your save or anything. People just like to exaggerate. But if I ever see you carve an object, I will come to your house and kick your ass. Carving is a useless tool that was supposed to be properly implemented, but they got lazy. Nowadays, it's just a beginner trap, so never use it. Using the vertex manipulation, click and drag in the 2D viewport to make a square over the vertices you want to select. Then press enter. They will turn red, so now you can click and drag on them to move them around. Essentially, I'm aligning those vertices to the grid. It's a good habit to have and it looks cleaner. You can do the same thing we did to the sides, to the top if you want to. Now that our first part of the ramp is ready, you might want to make cuts into the ramp. But here's the catch, never horizontally cut the ramp. When surfing, you can get caught on the cut because the source engine is weird. If you absolutely want to make a horizontal cut, there's a few ways around it, but I will cover those in another episode. Now with the first part of the surf ramp, we can give it a texture. I like to have a dark light contrast on the ramps. Don't texture the front, back or bottom sides. They need to remain node draw. You can now turn it into a curved ramp. If you went with a 100% triangular ramp, then you have to add a block at the bottom. Also, keep a copy of your ramp somewhere in your map. Alright, with all that done, it's the same process for all three surf ramps. From the side viewport, using the selection tool, left click inside the red yellow box. Then, with the new handlebars that have appeared, you can now rotate the ramp. I just go for about 45 degrees, it really doesn't matter. You don't have to rotate it, but it allows you to visualize how it's going to look. Then, select the vertex manipulation tool and drag a big square above the whole ramp. Then, press enter. Select the dot at the bottom right, click and drag it around a little so it's aligned to the grid. Then, using the selection tool, shift click and drag the ramp to duplicate it. Press Ctrl M and rotate it on the correct axis. I can't tell you which one it is since it depends on what orientation you made your whole map in. Just do trial and error. How much you want to rotate is up to you. My go-to is 5 degrees, then press enter. Select the vertex manipulation tool, shift V, and align the bottom right dot with the previous one. Then, using the selection tool, select both ramps and press Ctrl G to group them. Then, open up vertex manipulation, select both ramp, and click and drag the bottom right one to align it to the grid. Rinse and repeat until satisfied. Remember, since the amount of individual ramps doubles every time, you need to rotate first 5 degrees, then 10, then 20, then 40, then 80, etc. Same goes for 3 degrees, 6, 12, 24, 48. How much you need to rotate your ramp every time also depends on what the width of the surf ramp is. The wider it is, the more you need to rotate it. I highly recommend keeping a non-touch version of any surf ramp you make inside your map, so you have your backup in case. With the surf ramps made, we need to finish the stage. This part is hard to explain because you just have to get used to the tools given. So small montage, until I have something that matches my drawing. To finish it off, I will just duplicate the start platform to the end and using the flip tool found under tools, flip objects horizontally/vertically or just Ctrl L or Ctrl I, we almost have our first surf stage. Just need to add some triggers, teleports and some other various details, which we will look into in the next episode. Thank you for watching, hope you learned something.